So this summer, we're going to be journeying through the Gospel of Marc. This will be our summer sermon series, and our small groups will continue to meet on Sundays and Wednesdays as we work through this oldest and shortest of the four Gospels. And so today, as a staff, rather than have another Zoom meeting where we discuss and plan and reflect on our ministry and our mission, we decided that we would carve out an hour to spend some time with the biblical text through a practice called Lectio Divina, which we do in a lot of our small groups here at Westside. It's a very simple but powerful practice where you sit with the biblical text, you chew on a word, a phrase, an image, or a metaphor, asking God how it's speaking into your life, and asking God what invitation there might be. And so I'm going to share the text with you. It's from the 4th chapter of Marc. It's a familiar text, but it's so rich with imagery as Jesus is calling the disciples to go to the other side. And on their way there, they encounter a great storm. And they realize that that storm is not only affecting their boat, but they see a whole bunch of other boats out there as well being affected. And then Jesus is in the midst of this storm and he's asleep. And the disciples wonder whether he even cares. And they rouse him awake. And Jesus calms the sea. He has power beyond their wildest imagination. And then he looks at them and he has some strong words to say about why it is that they're so caught up in fear. And I think he's inviting them to see that this is the nature of reality, that sometimes things have to get very stormy. Sometimes we got to go down into the mess, especially if we're going to be faithful to the call to go to the other side. So let me read the text. Invite you, if you'd like, to do a similar practice on your own or in a small group, but to consider how God might be speaking to you today and to us as a community and as a nation and as a global family. So let us listen together for God's word today, being open to whatever word, whatever phrase, whatever image or metaphor resonates for us and has an invitational pull about it. Late that day, Jesus said to them, "Let's go across to the other side." And so they took him in the boat as he was. And other boats came along. And a huge storm came up. Waves poured into the boat, threatening to sink it. And Jesus was in the stern, head on a pillow, sleeping. And they roused him, saying, "Teacher, is it nothing to you that we're going down?" "Awake now," Jesus told the wind to pipe down. And he said to the sea, "Quiet, settle down." And the wind ran out of breath, and the sea became smooth as glass. And Jesus reprimanded the disciples, saying, "Why are you such cowards? Don't you have any faith at all?" And they were in absolute awe, staggered. "Who is this anyway?" they asked. "Wind and sea at his beck and call." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.